Good day, scholars! The story of how Sonic became roboticized into Metal Sonic is a dark, terrible moment in history, a tragedy filled with heartache and loss, and the complete destruction of the soul of the once joyful hero Sonic the Hedgehog. If you're ready for some dark Sonic fan stories that will make you see Metal Sonic in a different way, then please spin dash that like button because every like helps out my Sonic videos reach more Sonic fans like yourselves. Thank you. And also, if you want to subscribe, you won't regret it with the Sonic content I have for you. But first, a little respect for the theory that has been discussed many times over. Over the course of time, I've seen multiple theories where it's discussed how Metal Sonic could actually be Sonic the Hedgehog who was roboticized in the future timeline of Sonic CD, in a future where Sonic had failed to defeat Robotnik. There is research from those theories in which Metal Sonic claims he is the real Sonic, key dialogue whilst in Metal Overlord form as well, in Sonic Heroes, that he could once have had a soul, and also combining that information from the animated OVA movie with Metal and Sonic both know everything each other will do, like they are both the same entity. There are a ton of other hints that Metal Sonic has some kind of life force within as well. But one I always found fascinating was out of all of Dr. Robotnik's creations, Metal Sonic always seemed one of a kind, always had some kind of edge over the other inferior creations, and was always showcased to be Sonic's equal, and he is literally Sonic's equal in every way despite the bad writing the guy got. For more on that, please check out my Metal Sonic What the Hell Happened video. But back to why Metal Sonic is that superior to other creations, and why he matches Sonic. Why is that? Because those other creations, they are not Sonic. And Metal Sonic could very well be Sonic roboticized, hence why he has that level of power to compete. This kind of led me to believe further that the Sonic roboticized theory is actually very plausible and has a ton of potential that is yet to be explored from what I've seen. Metal Sonic has something in the core that comes from the original Sonic. He believes he's the real Sonic, but something happened in Sonic CD in that dark timeline to Sonic the Hedgehog. He didn't just get roboticized, something horrible happened for it to get that way. Sonic just doesn't get caught like that or turn easy, and in this video, I'm going to share with you a fan-made story from myself about how Sonic became Metal Sonic in that dark future of Sonic CD, involving the little planet and Robotnik corrupting the world and succeeding. The theories have been made, but I want to focus on telling that story about how Sonic turned. And in this story, I would like you to ignore what's canon and non-canon, what makes sense in terms of placement in the Sonic storyline, because there can be multiple timelines in Sonic, but in this one, there will just be two timelines. A dark future where Sonic failed, and the present timeline where something changed and led to the events of Sonic winning. Kind of think of it as Dragon Ball Z where the androids destroyed the Trunks future, but in the present, all turned out okay because of some small changes in the events. And after hearing my version of this, you can then place that story in any version of the canon timeline you wish that involves Metal Sonic, in your own headcanon lore obviously. This is the story how I want to tell it. Let us begin the story of the fall of future Sonic. The events take place between Sonic 1 and 2. Sonic has not yet met Miles Tails Prower, but has already met Amy Rose, who apparently had a crush on Sonic. However, Sonic plays hard to catch, pun intended, and the huge events of Sonic CD would take place in that Little Planet would arrive in the last month of the year. All for Robotnik to take action and chain Little Planet to their own world in an attempt to corrupt it and turn it into a giant fortress with a robot army. Robotnik was already aware of the Time Stones, the mystical gems that will grant him power to manipulate time and space, to give him the advantage on so many levels. Such a power was devastating even for Robotnik to wield, and Sonic knew he had to prevent this. Sonic would venture to the planet, leaving Amy Rose behind in a cloud of dirt, and Sonic would take the fight head-on to Robotnik before he could ground himself on Little Planet and build his foundations for his army. Upon arrival at the Little Planet, the majority of it still remained peaceful, yet was slowly becoming alarmed to the badniks invading the smaller towns and areas. The evil Robotnik had a reputation for being prepared. He already planned this attack for 11 months, before Little Planet appeared, which explained the times of peace in Sonic's world and why Sonic didn't have any problems for that long. It's because Robotnik was thinking of the bigger picture, and this idea was more twisted than ever. Robotnik was known to get outdone by Sonic numerous times in the past, almost being made a fool out of, but since this attack on Little Planet, Robotnik's nature had turned darker than normal. He wasn't taking any more chances or playing games with the robot toys. He became much more serious and sinister. He didn't sleep or show any sort of emotion. He wanted Sonic's blood. And not only that, he wanted Sonic to suffer in the cruelest ways imaginable. And this was the start of those horrible, despicable times. Sonic took the fight straight towards the area called Quartz Quadrant, a mine-like cave where Robotnik's main base at that time was located. Sonic destroyed a number of robots looking to take control of the area, but as Sonic was fighting, our blue hero witnessed something traumatizing that he would never forget. All of the beings on Little Planet, the animals, everyone, were being shot down with electric stun equipment and were being swarmed by Robotnik's machines, and they would get roboticized there and then. For every robot that Sonic spin dashed into oblivion, another 3 innocent creatures would be roboticized. Sonic was losing ground and he could see his speed couldn't keep up with the horror being cast upon the creatures of Little Planet. But Sonic fought on, like he always does. This was just Robotnik being mean, he thought. And if Robotnik gets tougher, Sonic gets tougher and deals with the problem, like he always does. At least, that's what Sonic's mentality was at the moment. As in time, the frustration and helplessness of Sonic's actions would start to form anger inside, which led to doubt and in time, fear. Sonic tried his very best and in the end, he outlasted the attack on Quartz Quadrant. Robotnik's machines were nowhere to be found as they all retreated, but what was left? The carnage. Destroyed villages near the area, and the bodies of those innocents who were killed and failed to get roboticized. Sonic stood there and looked down, clenched his fists, feeling frustrated about not being able to stop this invasion. And so, Sonic sped back to his world in order to rest and think about his next move. Robotnik's forces continued to occupy Little Planet, and his plan was to leech on the towns and zones one by one, roboticizing all of the creatures, the parents and the children, until they were all working for him to grow his army. Robotnik's sick and twisted mind continued to crave, wanting to see Sonic suffer. He knew that Sonic had outstanding power, capable of giving him trouble, so if he can't compete with Sonic's potential, he felt the only other way was to break Sonic from the inside, to crush his spirit entirely and remove his soul. And the way he planned to do this was to make Sonic feel like there's a false sense of hope. But in the end, everything he fought to protect would not just die, but be turned forever into his machines, to show Sonic that he is alone. But Sonic had a powerful will. It wouldn't be that easy. Robotnik's forces made Little Planet hard to gain access to, and Sonic struggled to find a way in for months. Sonic would never give up, trying to access Little Planet, and even if he did, he would eventually be pushed back out by the legions of robots that he just couldn't take head on anymore. There were too many. Little Planet could no longer vanish. It was completely under Robotnik's control. But it was during these passing months in his world that he met Tails, the young fox, who Sonic had grown to care for as a little brother, and they continued to fight the leftover robots in Sonic's world. It seemed Robotnik's forces were all working from Little Planet, and that was where Robotnik placed his main base, an entire planet for a base. Sonic and Tails would venture out and clean up most of their world and form a teamwork bond. But Sonic knew Tails wasn't quite ready. He was still young and green, and he didn't want to put him in any danger that was located on Little Planet. At least on their planet they had some control over what was going on. Plus Tails, even for his young age, was a bit techie, able to build some impressive equipment to aid Sonic and fight off Robotnik's machines. During this time, Sonic and Amy had grown closer, and he did not want her to get in any danger either. She had stopped with the whole clinginess thing, and just remained chilled, for Sonic's world was peaceful for the most part. It was just about saving Little Planet now, and Robotnik's giant chain, connected, was strengthened further and could not be separated. Another week passed, and a catastrophic event took place. Robotnik made his move. By the heavens, they look above. An army of killer droids launched towards Sonic's world down from Little Planet. There were thousands of them, with the intention of capturing, torturing and roboticizing everything in sight. Sonic told Tails to remain hidden along with Amy. For the first time in Sonic's voice, Tails and Amy sensed fear and small panic. It was at this point Sonic realized he may have reached his limits against Robotnik's strength in numbers. But Sonic, in a desperation, came up with an idea that would change the direction of his entire life. He realized Tails had built a plane, and Sonic thought that if the army would attack their world, then Robotnik would be exposed on Little Planet. He wanted Tails to fly him towards Little Planet so Sonic could attack the Doctor from the flank. Tails was scared of this, and was thinking about the army of droids in the air, thinking it would be impossible to get through them safely. But Sonic persisted and grabbed Tails by the scruff of the neck. He shouted at him and told him, if you don't do this now, everything will die. Tails, for the months he knew Sonic, had never seen him this scared before. He completely lost that cool that once made him who he was. What changed this? The helplessness? The pain of loss? Seeing hundreds of innocents die and corrupted where all Sonic could do was watch? Maybe it was pride. That he had to beat Robotnik. He never wanted to lose. Or maybe it was everything. And Sonic was just acting on false hope and a ton of luck. But they took flight. Amy stayed behind in the small freedom fighter base. Sonic was on top of the plane in classic fashion, and they flew through hundreds of aerial roboticizers. the plane would shoot down a few, and as they got closer to Little Planet, as luck would have it, they made it and Sonic saw an opening to jump down, and used a spin dash all of the way through Stardust Speedway to where Robotnik's headquarters were. Tails flew off, and it was unknown at this point what had happened to him. As Sonic leaped down into a full-on dash, he could see the entire place had no more living creatures. The sweat ran down Sonic's forehead, where he was now acting with rage to stop Robotnik. He wanted to kill him for what he's done. Sonic dashed through the barricade and gained entry to Robotnik's lab, and in the chair in front of the computers was not Robotnik, it was empty. Robotnik appeared on all of the monitors. Sonic saw his face and said, "Come out and fight! You're going to pay!" Sonic, one last effort to make things right. You're only here because I allowed it and commanded the roboticizers to ignore your plane. Do you want to know why you've been a step behind this whole time? Robotnik moved 2 time stones from his pocket. You didn't get a chance to learn about these, did you? These are the time stones, and with them I am able to manipulate this timeline. I am able to move into the future of this timeline and prepare for you at any moment. Why do you think every action you made, even with all that speed, has always fallen short of my conquest? It's because I know what you're going to do every single time, Sonic. And do you think I'm foolish enough to remain here while my army is on your world doing exactly the same as I've done to Little Planet? Sonic looked at the monitor which showcased Sonic's world and the creatures being beaten down, murdered, and most roboticized. It was bloody, and Sonic couldn't do anything. Robotnik had sealed the doors with stronger reinforced shutters. Sonic fell to his knees and watched on. Sonic, don't you see it's pointless? When will you ever learn? I've been giving you the time to realize what's been going on, but you just kept pushing at me. Always acting with that ignorant spark, but now you finally realized where that's gotten you. You stand there in the broken body you deserve to be in. Sonic began to cry, looking at all of his family and friends getting taken over by Robotnik, where he couldn't do anything. Sonic, I'm willing to give you one last chance. I'm going to open that door, and whatever your next move will be, will determine what I do next. Robotnik was playing with Sonic. He had him truly defeated at this point, but there was a small bit of pain in Sonic that allowed him to fire up inside, just a small bit of rage to fight back. The doors opened, and Sonic dashed out in an attempt to destroy Robotnik's forces one more time. So be it, Hedgehog. And as Sonic ran through Stardust Speedway, Robotnik had engineered new droids to fly in and shoot Sonic down with toxic gas. They even kept up with his speed, and just dropped hundreds of canisters of gas, which Sonic ran into and inhaled and slowly collapsed on the speedway. The gas was enough to render Sonic unconscious, but barely alive. The roboticizers swarmed in and took Sonic's body away to the hardened lab. Sonic would be there, arms and legs apart, hanging there in an experimental container. He was helpless, a prisoner, a patient. Once Sonic had come to his senses a few hours later, he awoke to see Robotnik standing in front of him. He had no energy to even form words correctly. Robotnik, what did you do? Everything is fine, Sonic. I just want you to know that this isn't personal. Not anymore. For years you were a thorn in my side, but after I acquired Little Planet and the Time Stones, you slowly became an afterthought. No longer a key player, but more of a test dummy for my success. And as time went on, I just began to feel sorry for you, realizing that you truly were incapable of winning, yet you still tried so hard. Sonic, I do care for you enough to keep you alive. I don't want to kill you. I want you. And you're going to give me everything that's left once I squeeze the last drop of hope out of you, and you're a shriveled up mess begging for my help. Sonic hung there just listening. Never, Robotnik. He said this with his head down. What went through Sonic's mind at this point was the worst possible feeling, and the care for his own safety was the last on the list. Sonic was thinking about all the innocent creatures, friends and family of his world. The last thing he saw was the cities getting attacked. He was also thinking about Tails and Amy. Sonic truly felt defeated. He failed, and the doors and options were slowly closing one by one. Sonic blanked out once again, from the low energy, but also through a boundless feeling of pain and heartache. During this time, Robotnik transported back to his world. There he went to the base in which Amy Rose was hiding. It was already too late. The robots had already obliterated the building and everything in it. Amy Rose was severely injured and was taken to Robotnik's medical facility so she could get healed and then later roboticized. But Robotnik had other plans. He walked to the bedside where Amy Rose was on life support. Robotnik stood there with an emotionless look in his eyes, looked down at her with disgust and said nothing. He slowly removed the life support from Amy Rose and placed his hand over Amy Rose's mouth, a small mumble, without any fight back due to being wounded and severely beaten. Amy's arms and legs would twitch, but then after a long 30 seconds, everything stopped. Robotnik removed his hand. He had murdered Amy without any feeling. He walked away without saying anything, and back to Little Planet he went. Robotnik, that son of a bitch. What happened to him? He never used to be this twisted. He didn't even have to do that. What would he gain out of doing something like that? Amy was no threat to him. No, this was a different Robotnik. A doctor that had enough of the jokes. It was scary. Sonic was hanging there, weakened, but saw Robotnik walk in. What is the point in carrying on, Sonic? There's nothing left to live like you do anymore. All of this time I wanted to help the world, but you just kept getting in my way. After all the months of pain and loss and suffering, do you ever stop and think that it really wasn't me who caused this, Sonic, but you? Robotnik was twisting Sonic's mind even more. He told Sonic that it's because of him that everyone had died, and some creatures even wanted to be roboticized because they will live better lives, with purpose, rather than feeling let down by Sonic trying to protect them and continue living in fear. Sonic would shed tears hearing this. The pain and heartache he felt was nothing like he ever felt before. A hero truly broken. Sonic, it's because of you that Amy died. You weren't there to save her. She even told me she wanted to get roboticized. I tried to save her life, Sonic. It was the only way. I wanted to do this for you, because I know how much you cared for her. I don't want you to die, but no. She slowly died after you told her to stay and hide in that ridiculous base. Your decision. Killed by the one person who loved you. How sad. She couldn't believe that Sonic the Hedgehog set her up to die. Sonic's tears would fall even more. He was going to explode. It seems in your anger, you killed her. Sonic shouted with every last ounce of breath he had. No! Robotnik smiled for the first time in a long time, probably due to the disgust and satisfaction he had of mentally torturing Sonic. Yes, that's the anger, yes. But you're still not there yet. Just one more push should do it. Sonic pleaded Robotnik to just kill him. He had nothing to live for anymore. He just wanted the pain, guilt, and sadness to go away. Bring him in. Our newest recruit and a fine talent to the Robotnik Empire. Well, greet our patient, T153X. Hello, Sonic. Sonic opened his eyes. Filled with sadness and despair, standing in front of him was a familiar figure, only made from metal and appeared to have no soul. It was Tails, roboticized. Oh God, no, Tails! What have they done to you? Aren't you going to tell Sonic what I did for you, T153X? Yes, Dr. Robotnik. I am much better now. He saved me. This is what I wanted. It's better this way. Sonic looked at Robotnik, completely broken down and nothing left to say except feeling relentless guilt. He looked back at Tails, and Tails knelt beside him with his hand open, with lifeless eyes staring into Sonic's. You're in pain, Sonic. I want to help you. Don't you want to feel better? Robotnik will make you feel okay. Just stay still and close your eyes. The roboticized Tails was the last straw to completely destroy Sonic's hope and spirit and led him to an unknown place in his mind. It was so convincing in Sonic's weakened state that he just accepted the words of Tails as the truth. Sonic's feelings at this point were so twisted and confused that nothing was clear anymore except all he wanted to do was get rid of the pain. It was killing him from the inside slowly. Sonic's head flopped down with no more fire, no more motivation, no more fighting spirit. Help me. Please just do it, Robotnik. Whatever stops this pain. And with those words, Robotnik looked up to the ceiling and closed his eyes. It was a moment of success in his mind. Good. He actually did what he set out to do. He wanted to break Sonic down so badly that Sonic would beg him to help put him out of his misery. But Robotnik would not even give Sonic that exit. He just wouldn't let it go. The years of being made a fool out of, this was everything to him. Instead, he wanted Sonic roboticized to use him for his own horrendous plans. Sonic, it would be a shame to lose you and all of that potential you once had, but I'll help you, and I'll use that power inside to do good with it. Put your faith in me, Sonic. I know what's best for you. Sonic remained motionless, as if he had no life in him whatsoever, as the roboticizers on each limb began to operate and Sonic's body was ransacked on the operating table. Robotnik had begun to walk off, proud of his accomplishments, with Tails walking beside him. As the door closed, Robotnik guided T-153X into another factory room, told him to stand next to the edge of the barricade, and kicked the mechanical body of Tails into the compactor, where it was broken and crushed to complete destruction. Tails was murdered, but only kept alive in his severe condition just to torture Sonic with the last bit of life left. Thank you, Tails. But now I have full control over Sonic's core to power up my army. There's no need for useless scrap metal with no potential. Your programmed script was enough to break Sonic's will one more time. That's all you were good for. But now, Sonic is mine, and his weakened spirit and soul will never let him overpower the control of my roboticized programming. It's too late for him. Days passed. Little Planet and Sonic's world were both completely turned into a giant fortress for Robotnik's empire. He had completely won in this timeline. He walked back into the operating room and looked through the window at the completion of his newest soldier. Ah yes, S156X. Finally we meet. The roboticized Sonic the Hedgehog, with a brand new metallic body and jet propulsion system, rose on the operating table, still secured, with eyes closed but still listening. Dr. Robotnik, you gave me a new purpose. I am here to serve you forever. Ah yes. Good. Good. It seems the programming is in full working order. You will only remember what I want you to remember, and that you were once a disease who tried to infect this world, a disease you have long since forgotten the name of. But it was thanks to Dr. Robotnik that you were cleansed and made stronger for a better life. Enough basic memory to still retain your fire, but enough to forever be my pawn. But just to check your compliance, I have one question. Tell me who you are again. The roboticized hedgehog looked up and opened his eyes, which were glowing bright red. It would appear he had forgotten everything he once was, but he glared at Robotnik and said, "There is only one Sonic." Robotnik's eyes widened with fear, realizing he should have no memory of his past self to that degree. Metal Sonic breaks out of the restraints and looks at his newly created clenched fist, and the doctor commands the operator droids to close the windows. He walks away and instructs them to sort out the problem, and the sweat falls from the side of his head. Darkness filled the operating room, and the red eyes continued to burn with rage in the darkness. The future timeline would one day cross with the present timeline of Sonic CD, which we all came to know. The one where another Sonic from another time and place would rise up and fight Robotnik. However, even though that Sonic would succeed, the future timeline was always the timeline that came first. And Metal Sonic was truly the first Sonic in both of those timelines. Metal Sonic would continue to serve Dr. Robotnik in the future timeline, successfully completing multiple missions filled with blood and murder. Like the compliant, twisted, mindless machine he had become, Metal Sonic was truly a killing machine with no soul. But it wasn't until Metal Sonic came into contact with the present timeline Sonic that the mindless robot suddenly sparked from within. Something triggered the machine deep within, and something awoke which not even Dr. Robotnik's machinery could contain. Seeing another Sonic the Hedgehog brought out a side in Metal Sonic that was so familiar, even causing him to utilize finger wave gestures from the distant memory and instinct alone. There was definitely something still deep within the metal body, but the appearance of another Sonic, a fresh-faced hero with a positive attitude, unbreakable spirit, and cool ways, would also cause Metal Sonic to become enraged and bitter and obsessed. Knowing that was once who he used to be, seeing that energy made Metal Sonic feel like garbage, a failure, and it was in his survival instinct that he wanted to be the only Sonic. He believed he was the true Sonic. The past Sonic reminded him of who he should have been, and he wanted to be that true hero once again, but realized it was too late to go back after everything he's done in Robotnik's name. He could never become who he was. Was it the programming of Robotnik's roboticizer that controlled Metal Sonic to do his orders? Or was that what Sonic the Hedgehog truly became? A broken, beaten down creature with every evil action of his was filled with his own anger towards himself and how he failed himself and his loved ones. Did seeing the present timeline Sonic remind him of the heartache he once felt and realized that he doesn't want to be that weak again, so seeks to destroy Sonic to prove he is better? Is that what drives Metal Sonic? Or should we say, the true Sonic? I guess we will never know. And if you want to strengthen the validity of this story even more, just ask yourselves one thing. If Metal Sonic isn't Sonic, where was Sonic the Hedgehog in the future timeline? And that is my fan story of how Sonic became Metal Sonic. I hope you enjoyed this darker approach to the world of Sonic and Metal Sonic scholars. I always felt Sonic CD had a very interesting story, which could have been explored with more depth. The atmosphere with the game was totally unique and different to other Sonic games. But if you like this story and want more of this kind, please spin dash that like button. As I said before, each like really helps this video reach more Sonic fans. And if you do consider subscribing, like I said, you won't be disappointed of the Sonic content I have in store for you guys. Thank you, Sonic Scholars, and I'll see you in the next dimension.